What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NY Prepper, and I wanted to do a video on an underestimated and overlooked SHTF and home defense weapon, and that's the 12 gauge pump action shotgun. And I want to just do a quick little video of all of the benefits of a pump action 12 gauge shotgun, and go over some of the features of a shotgun that make it a very good SHTF weapon or home defense weapon. So without further delay, I'm going to get into the video and start my discussion. So if you haven't checked my channel out, over the last couple of days I uploaded a few videos of me doing some testing with 12 gauge shotgun ammo. I did a patterning test of some triple-aught buckshot over the weekend, this past weekend. So I highly recommend you check out my latest uploads. And they're also in my shooting playlist. I have a playlist for shooting and range trips. So should be in there. I did some patterning tests and I shot some watermelons and things like that. So I highly recommend you guys watch those videos, but I'm going to be doing a lot more videos related to shotguns. I'm going to be testing their penetration. I'm going to be testing, I'm going to be doing some patterning, some more patterning tests to see how tight the patterns are of different ammunition. So, I'm going to be doing that over the next few weeks. So a lot more 12 gauge oriented videos coming from my channel over the next few weeks, and I feel that that's important because a lot of guys, they focus so much on AR-15s and pistols, and I feel like 12 gauge shotguns are very overlooked and underestimated, especially now in this tactical world. Everything is tactical nowadays. 12 gauge shotguns are barely ever mentioned by any tactical YouTube channels. Everybody's focusing on AR-15s and pistols, like I said. So I want to really focus on shotguns, and I'm going to be doing a lot of shotgun oriented videos. I'm going to do some shotgun drills. I'm going to show you guys some shooting drills that you can do to have good proficiency with your shotgun if you get one for home defense. So, definitely stay tuned to my channel for more of those videos, and they will be, if you miss those videos, if you missed the latest upload, you can always go to my shooting playlist and it'll be in there. All right, but next couple of weeks, I'm going to do a lot of shotgun videos, so definitely want to stay tuned to my channel over the next few weeks. And so I want to just go over some of the benefits of a 12 gauge shotgun and really talk about why I think it's one of the best weapons that you can have for SHTF. If you could only have one firearm for SHTF, or even if it's not SHTF, if we're just talking about having one firearm in your house that you can have for different scenarios, different situations, really, the shotgun is the most versatile firearm, okay? The first firearm that I actually purchased with my own money was a 12 gauge Mossberg 500, all right? When I turned 18 years old, I went to my local gun shop and I got a Mossberg 500 12 gauge shotgun, okay? Before that, I had other firearms, but they were purchased by my father. My father got me a 4570 when I was 16 years old, and I used that for deer hunting when I was a teenager. But my theory behind the shotgun, the reason why I bought it, was because with a shotgun I could do so many things. I could hunt deer with slugs and bear. I could put buckshot in it and defend my home, and defend myself. I could use bird shot for hunting, pheasant or grouse or ducks or waterfowl. I could put, small game shot in there for turkey, for rabbits, you know, small fur bearers, you know. So a shotgun is really the most versatile weapon. And, you know, it's very underestimated, very overlooked by a lot of preppers. And, you know, I'm going to get more into the details in the video, but I wanted to just quickly say that if you could only have one weapon, I always recommend either a 12 gauge shotgun or a good solid revolver in 357 Magnum or a 44 Magnum. Those are my, if you could only have one firearm for SHTF or just only have one gun, it would either be a 12 gauge pump shotgun or a revolver in 357 Magnum or 44 Magnum, okay? So when I'm talking about shotguns, I'm talking about the classic pump action shotgun. I'm not talking about the newer bullpup shotguns like the DP12 and some of those other ones that have the double tubular magazines and you can switch from one tube to the other. I'm talking about your basic classic pump action shotgun, you know, like a Remington 870 or Mossberg 500, 590, you know, with a full shoulder stock. I'm not talking about the short barrel shotguns like the Remington TAC 14 or the Mossberg Shockwave or any of those kind of things. I'm talking about a classic pump action shotgun, okay, like this. All right, this is a Remington 870. I don't know if you guys have seen it before on my channel. Okay, it's a basic pump action shotgun. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about any of the really short barrel shotguns or anything like that. Okay, so why is the pump action shotgun so great, and what are some of the advantages that it has over an AR-15 or other types of platforms and other types of long guns, okay? First of all, the pump action shotgun has proven itself through a century of use by law enforcement, hunters, military, and even by homeowners for home defense, okay? The pump action shotgun was used as early as World War I in trench warfare, okay? So the pump action shotgun has been around for a long, long time. All right, it's withstood the test of time, and that's very important. You know, I've done a video on that. You know, firearms should always withstand the test of time. All right, so you know that they're reliable. All right, so here I'm going to go into some of the advantages of a shotgun that a lot of people overlook. All right, the first one, the most obvious one, is that shotguns, you don't have to be very precise, okay? Because a shotgun, it shoots pellets, okay? So you don't have to have exact sight alignment. You don't have to have the best marksmanship fundamentals, the 7 fundamentals of marksmanship, all right? Because you're shooting a bunch of pellets. So you generally can aim or point your shotgun in the general direction of your target, and it's going to hit it in one way or another, all right? Because you may be shooting 10 or 20 or 30 or 50 pellets at your target, so one of those pellets is going to hit. You know, as long as the gun is oriented towards your target, one of those pellets is going to hit. And why is that an advantage? All right, well, if you're talking about up close and personal encounters with another human being that could be threatening your life, or a wild animal, you know, it's easier to get a hit on an animal or a dangerous human being when you have that scattering of pellets, right? Because you don't have to be so precise. You don't have to align your sights perfectly. Your fundamentals don't have to be 100% on point. You know, as long as the gun is pointed in the general direction, it's going to make a hit of some kind, you know. So that's a huge advantage for a defensive situation. And the reason why is that, first of all, most defensive situations with firearms occur at close ranges, okay? Unless you're in the theater of war, you're not going to be, you know, if you're a civilian, you know, chances are you're going to be using a weapon at close distances. You're not going to be engaging in firefights at 100 yards or 300 yards or anything like that, all right? Even if there's SHTF and, you know, we're living in a Mad Max world, you know, you still may not have many opportunities to shoot at long distances unless somebody's shooting at you from a far away, and then you have to return fire. But if somebody's approaching your home, you know, you can't just blow them away from 100 yards because you don't know if they're enemy or if they're friendly. You know, you actually have to get within talking distance to talk to that person and find out what they're about, okay? They may be coming by to barter with you, and if you just blow them away from 100 yards, you don't know. So you have to get within close proximity to talk to that person to find out, are they just coming to barter or are they trying to take over my compound, you know? So most defensive encounters, whether it's with a person or an animal, happen at close range, okay? If you ask police officers when they have to deal with a person trying to hurt them, you know, they'll say that the average distance where most shootings occur is 10 yards, okay? Most police officer related shootings happen at 10 yards, okay? They don't happen at 20 yards, 50 yards. They happen at 10 yards. That's very close, guys. And that's the range where a shotgun is the most powerful, and that's where you know, you don't have to have that perfect precision. There's more forgiveness when you're dealing with a shotgun, okay? And so we know that most defensive encounters happen at short ranges. Same thing if you're in the woods and you have a bear charging you or some kind of wild animal. It usually happens at 25 yards or less. If it's a mountain lion, it could just spring out of nowhere, or a coyote or something like that, a rabid dog or a rabid raccoon. They're going to come out at close distance and charge you. And that's where having that shotgun is very useful, because if you can't get a perfect sight picture and perfect sight alignment, you can still make some good hits with those pellets, you know. So in situations where you can't get good sight alignment, you know, the shotgun is really helpful. And especially for home defense, if let's say you hear a bump in the night and you wake up in the middle of the night, you know, your senses are not fully tuned yet because you're half asleep. Your body's still halfway in sleeping mode. So your reflexes are not the same. Your motor skills are not the same. Your level of alertness is not the same because you're half asleep. All right. So it's going to be hard for you to quickly react and get right into shooting mode when you're just woken up from a deep sleep, you know. And that's where the shotgun is going to have a huge benefit, all right, because there's more of that forgiveness, all right. If you don't have perfect sight alignment, you're still going to make a good hit, or a decent hit, okay. So if there's situations where your senses are foggy or your motor skills are affected, like if let's say you have a strong adrenaline reaction, okay, your hands may have a strong, you know, adrenaline rush, and your hands are not going to be stable, you know, because the muscles are going to be tightening up. You're going to be in a fight or flight situation. Your hands may even be shaking. Your fine motor skills are going to diminish, all right, because of all the blood rush to your core, all right. When you have an adrenaline rush, all the blood rushes to your core and to your major muscle groups to get ready to either fight or to flight, okay? So the blood rushes away from your hands and your extremities, and as a result, you start to lose your dexterity in your fingers, okay? And so at that point, your fine motor skills are going to be not as good as if you're, you know, at the range on a weekend, you know, plinking, you know, and there's no threats around you and you have no adrenaline in your system. But when you have adrenaline going, your hands are going to be shaking. You're not going to feel your fingers as much. They may even go a little bit numb, kind of like if you're outside in the cold. And it's going to be hard for you to get a good sight alignment if you're using a rifle or a pistol, especially a pistol, all right? And that's where the shotgun is going to really have a strong benefit to you, because if your fine motor skills are gone and your adrenaline is going crazy and your hands are shaking and there's an imminent threat coming your way at close distance, whether it's a bear, whether it's a guy with a butcher knife charging at you, you can literally swing the shotgun, even if you don't have it, raised up and shouldered. You can shoot from the hip and you can still make a good hit on that threat, So if the target's coming at you, you can just literally swing the shotgun and pull the trigger from the hip and it's going to make a hit, So that's a huge benefit, the fact that you don't have to be so precise and there's more forgiveness with your sight alignment and things like that. That's the first, I would say, number one benefit. And again, most defensive shootings happen at close range, and having that scatter of pellets is going to also help you if you're dealing with, let's say, a wild animal like a dog. Let's say a pit bull is trying to attack you, or a bear, or a rabid coyote, or something that's really fast and small, where, if you have a pistol, it's going to be hard to keep that good sight alignment and get a good hit. If you have let's say there's a rabid coyote that's running full speed at you, or a pit bull or something like that, getting a good solid sight alignment and good sight picture on a charging dog or a charging animal is difficult, all right, because your adrenaline is going crazy. The animal is moving very fast. It's a smaller target, especially like a pit bull or something like that. All right, so that's where having the shotgun is a huge benefit, all right, because, it's going to have that scattering of pellets, and the scattering of pellets is going to ensure that you get some kind of a hit on that animal, okay? So that's the first huge benefit of a shotgun, all right? The second one is it has a high level of lethality, and it's very powerful, all right? A shotgun can sling a lot of lead, okay? A shotgun shell can hold a lot of powder, gunpowder, and it's a big, shell. So, you can jam a lot of pellets in there. You can put a huge slug in there. So shotguns are extremely lethal, extremely powerful, all right? Especially at short distances, under 100 yards, they're extremely powerful. So generally speaking, if you hit any living creature with a 12 gauge shotgun, they're going to feel it, okay? And they may even die from one shot, all right? Most animals, unless you're talking about maybe a rhinoceros or a thick-skinned, dangerous game animal like a rhino or elephant or Cape buffalo or something like that. But any kind of living creature is going to feel a 12 gauge shotgun. It's going to do damage, okay? So the high lethality, if you're using something like a buckshot, like double-aught or triple-aught buckshot, those pellets are 30 caliber in diameter, okay? And you may be, if it's like double-aught buck, you're going to have a dozen or maybe 18 pellets, 18 30 caliber pellets hitting your target, okay? That's like the equivalent of, getting shot with a 9mm 10 times all at once, The damage is massive, okay? Each one of those pellets is like a 9mm. And if you're hitting somebody with a buckshot, it's like getting hit with a dozen 9mm all at once, okay? And because the pellets are spread out, they're creating a lot more wound channels than just one or two, well-placed bullets. They're creating a lot of wound channels in your target. So, if you hit somebody with buckshot or you hit an animal with buckshot, you're going to create 10 or 20, 30 caliber or larger, mini bullets, basically, that are going to create wound channels, all right? And those wound channels are going to lead to massive damage to tissue and organs and a lot of blood loss, okay? And that's just from one shot with the buckshot, okay? Imagine if you dump, an entire magazine tube into somebody or into an animal. You're talking about hundreds of pellets, 30 caliber pellets. That's like getting hit by 2 or 3 AK-47s, with full magazines. It's a massive amount of damage, okay? The next one is reliability. All right, like I mentioned, the 12 gauge pump action shotgun has been proven for over a century to work, especially the pump action. The pump action is well used and has withstood the test of time. Okay, so it's a very reliable design and it's a reliable platform. Okay. Now, as long as you operate the shotgun properly, and when I say that, I mean you don't want to short stroke the shotgun. So when I say short stroke, I mean that if you're using the shotgun, you want to make sure that you don't rush the reloads when you're cycling your pump. All right, you want to go all the way down and follow through until the pump doesn't go down anymore. Okay, and then you want to watch for the shell to make sure that the shell extracted. All right, and then you want to cycle it and go all the way. You want to follow through. You don't want to go halfway down and then, back up. You want to go all the way down very decisively until it stops, and then you want to go back again until it stops. Okay, as long as you do that and you operate it very decisively, you're not going to have a jam. You're not going to have any problems. If you start to do, if you try to rush it, then you're going to have problems. You're going to short stroke it. There's going to be a jam. But operate the pump, very decisively. So all the way back, with a decisive pump, and then look for visual confirmation that the shell has been extracted and ejected. And then once you see the shell fly out, go right back again, decisive, very decisive and strong and all the way, okay, and follow through. As long as you do that, you'll never have a problem. It'll never jam. There's a lot of torque here. When you have a pump, all right, just like this pump here, you have a lot of torque, or I don't know what the word is, but there's a lot of force generated by the pump, okay, because, you're pulling it back with all your strength. All right, so that ensures positive extraction. You don't have to worry about gas pressure like on a semi-automatic, regulating gas pressure and making sure you have enough gas pressure to push the bolt back. All right, you're using manual force, and there's just a lot of leverage and a lot of power in this pump, and that ensures that you're going to always extract and get good positive extraction and positive ejection, because it's manually operated. All right, so that's a critical thing. Is you don't want to have a jam in a defensive situation, and a pump action shotgun is not going to really jam on you as long as you do the right thing. Okay, so that's huge right there. So reliability, it's withstood the test of time. It's been used by hunters, backpackers for security, wilderness hunting guides to protect from bears. It's proven itself to be reliable. Cops, corrections officers, military, they've all used it, okay, and it works. So it's a time-tested design. And then you have versatility. Okay, you have versatility. You can use it for bird hunting, small game, rabbits, squirrels. You could also put Brennick slugs in there for like Kodiak bear defense. If you live in Alaska and you're worried about Kodiak bears or coastal brown bears that reach over 1,000 pounds, you can put Brennick slugs, which are basically special slugs that are, you're talking about like an 1.5 ounce slug, like a hard cast slug that's made for penetration. So you can load one of those in there. The versatility of shotgun shells is huge. You can use a shotgun for anything. Like I said, bird hunting, small game, defense against bears, big game hunting, okay? You can even put exotic shells in there like flares. If you want to signal people, you can carry a few flare shells in your backpack. If you're hunting and you spend time in the wilderness, you can keep a couple of flare shells in your backpack in case you get lost. You can shoot those flare shells to alert rescuers or to signal for rescue. or to signal other people. You can use all kinds of different exotic shells. There's so many things out there. Obviously buckshot. Buckshot is excellent for home defense and for defense against big animals and bears. Buckshot is great. Slugs for hunting. So it's very versatile. You can do a lot of things with it. All right. Another thing is the simplicity and ease of maintenance. All right. A shotgun is very simple. It doesn't have rifling. It doesn't have any kind of muzzle brakes, or, I mean, you can get some that have muzzle brakes, but if it's an SHTF situation, you may not be able to clean and maintain your weapons that well, all right, like you can right now during rule of law, all right, because you're going to be busy, you're going to be doing security all the time. It's going to be hard for you to find the time to sit down for a couple hours and clean your weapon. All right, so a shotgun is more forgiving because it doesn't have rifling. It's just literally a smooth pipe, okay? And if there's a little bit of corrosion inside of the bore of the shotgun, it's not going to make the shotgun accurate to the point where it's not usable. All right, but if you have a rifle, an AR-15 or a bolt-action rifle or even a pistol, if even just a little bit of the rifling on the tip of the firearm gets damaged on the crown, all right, the crown or the muzzle, the crown is the edge of the bore, the muzzle, the end of the pistol or the end of the rifle, if that rifling on the outside there gets scratched or damaged, the accuracy is going to degrade to the point where you're not going to be able to use it. If the rifle barrel gets rusted, it's going to degrade the accuracy to the point where it may not be effective anymore. But a shotgun, if it gets a little bit dirty or a little bit rusty, or you haven't cleaned it in a while, and let's say you haven't cleaned it for a long time, it's still going to work, all right, because it's a smooth pipe. There's no rifling. It's literally just shooting pellets out, or it may have a slug. So it's not going to affect accuracy, and it's more resistant to dirty conditions and difficult conditions. Okay, it's easy to clean. It's like I said, literally just a pipe. You just put some solvent and a piece of cotton and wipe it out, and you're good to go. You don't have this all these things that you have to worry about like with a rifle. So that's a big benefit right there. Another thing too is that it's cheap. Okay, shotguns are cheap. You can pick up a shotgun for like $300. And, this shotgun right here I bought this for just without any accessories. I bought this for about $350, maybe $400, okay? Then I added sights on it. I added a flashlight. I put a sling on here. I put a heat shield. I put an oversized safety button. I put a side saddle. I upgraded the springs in the trigger spring and the carrier latch spring. So I put a lot of upgrades on this, and if you add the upgrades up, it probably a couple $100 more. The upgrades easily cost as much as the shotgun itself, but it's definitely worth it because this is one of my main defensive shotguns for home defense. And for SHTF, so I always like to invest money in something that's good and that's going to work. But you don't have to do all these upgrades that I did. Even just a basic, wooden stock, 12 gauge shotgun with a 18.5-inch barrel, with a basic bead on the front. That's going to serve you well. Get yourself some double-aught buck and you're good to go, okay? But, if you want to really trick out your shotgun, you can, and there's all kinds of different shotgun shells you can buy. There's premium buckshot. I recently did a test of some premium triple-aught buckshot. You can go up to 3-inch shells, which are a lot more powerful. So, versatility. But the cost is huge. A lot of preppers are, all of us, unless you're a millionaire, most of us, we're always pinched for money. Okay, So anywhere you can save money is good, and most people don't have thousands of dollars laying around that they can spend on rifles and things like that. So if you're tight for money, a shotgun is great, and you're going to be able to do so many things with it. You're going to be able to defend your home. You're going to be able to hunt big game, all right, deer, bear. You're going to be able to hunt small game, okay? It's extremely versatile. Another advantage is that in addition to the cost, they're very lightweight and they're very compact, okay? Shotguns are very compact. They don't take up a lot of room. They're lightweight, and they're easy to handle. They feel comfortable. Okay, it's not like you're lugging around this big rifle or AR-15 that has a big magazine coming off the bottom and all this crap hanging off of it. It's a nice low profile and slim design. You can get a pistol grip, and if you get a pistol grip, you can stow it in a backpack or throw it in your car or your vehicle. All right, but I prefer a stock on mine. All right, I like a stock so I can get a good cheek weld. I don't like the pistol grips personally, but that's just me. So the cost is a big benefit, and finally is that ammo is easy to find. You can find ammo pretty much anywhere. 12 gauge shotgun ammo is common throughout the world. So finding ammo is easy, and that's pretty much it. I've covered everything. I highly recommend that you guys get a shotgun if you don't have one. It's a really good weapon, and practice with it. Shoot different loads with it. You're not going to go wrong by having a shotgun. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for your support. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care. God bless. And don't forget the 3 Ps. Prepare, practice, and persevere.